Hello everybody, welcome to actually what is our second news video of the week. I suppose second, and actually it's like a sort of second part in our reflection, and I'm so pleased.
I am too.
Leah is with us. For those of you who don't know Leah, she's our church warden, one of our two church wardens. Leah, it's been a really momentous week, hasn't it? And a pretty tough week,
yeah. As
I sort of mentioned in my earlier email, and in the earlier email, and then the video that we did, and the letter you wrote. Yeah. How have you personally reacted to the tragedies that we've seen in the States and with George Floyd and everything that's come out of that?
Yeah. I think initially I felt disbelief, really. And then seeing the actual video, I couldn't, again, disbelief. Just couldn't believe what I was seeing. Sorry, feeling a bit emotional. Just reliving those, what we saw. And I think what really resonated with me was a little bit of guilt, I think, or about maybe ignorance around what happens in the States. Because it's not the first person who's been murdered brutally like that. For no reason. So there were a lot of feelings, how do I explain this to the children? It brought feelings up about how much I worry about having a son who's black, who is perceived in a particular way by other people, my husband, and it brought lots of things up that I've experienced, even though I was born and lived in West London all of my life, I have experienced some. And to no measure compared to what African Americans are experiencing or have experienced for their lives. But so it brought a lot of feelings up. And
I mean, one of the strange things is that obviously that's a very specific context in the States, isn't it?
Yeah.
And their cultural context is different, but it seems to have resonated across the world,
yeah,
isn't
absolutely.
it? And
yeah.
It's bringing up sort of like emotional reactions in everybody, which I guess are pretty individual to who they are.
Yeah, absolutely.
But it seems to have touched something.
Yeah, definitely.
Really.
I think when I spoke to you, I think what I didn't want is for people to think we as a church didn't care, or that we couldn't see what was going on. I think we both felt really strongly about making sure that people knew that we did care, so that there wasn't that horrible lull of silence that the devil could make good use of and try and divide us, because we are such a beautiful, diverse church, and we come from all over the place, and I love it here, and I want to make sure that that we could do something for everyone. But yeah, I speak from my own personal experiences completely. And
I mean, what we love about our church, that just extraordinary diversity.
Yeah.
Is something we want to celebrate. I guess the problem is it's not necessarily everybody's experience outside the church,
no.
Is it? Or maybe even in the church.
That's true.
I mean, I guess from my point of view, one of the things this has brought to the fore is just how those of us who are in the privileged white category, I know not every white person is privileged, but for me personally, having grown up in a majority context, in a white context, just the unawareness, really, the ignorance of what brothers and sisters of different colours go through, simply because of the colour of their skin. What can we do to understand that, and to, for somebody who's looking at it from a white perspective, how can I react in a godly way in this? How can I understand and sort of walk alongside? That's my deepest desire.
I think it takes for us to be honest, and for me to be truthful, and to pick the phone up and say, Andy, look, this is how I'm feeling. I don't expect you to understand, but you listening means a lot, because I know that you're a man of God, and I know that you want nothing more than to understand, to, go, sorry. I have to laugh through the tears. I think it's just that. I think it's taking your own time whatever that may look like or feel like for you, or however it feels comfortable. For me, I'm happy to pick the phone up because I know that we're family, and I know that I can phone you and I can say whatever I need to say. It's not something I would have done before, I have to say, because I think for me, being in an all, white working place, for example, that's quite normal. I've been the only black member of staff in a job that I had for 13 years. That was quite normal. But I would never be able to go in there and express myself how I felt about something that had to do with race, for example. Whereas I know that my church is open to all nationalities, and I know that it's okay to be truthful. So I think if you want to know more, if you want to understand, it's just about listening. And it's just, for me, if I had a phone call from anybody, I'd be quite happy to have a conversation. For others, they may not want to be asked about how they feel. And I guess we just have to be really sensitive about what we do and what we try and say. And it's difficult because what we really don't want to happen is for people to be silent, because I think that's just, there's no place for silence.
Yeah. I mean, one of the things I tried to say in my little video piece was how this, for me, is actually, it hits at the heart of the gospel, because Jesus did not look at people as labels. He didn't look at people according to the colour of their skin or their social background or their religious education or whatever it was. He took them as they were, as beautiful individuals. Yeah. And he tried to bring out that beauty in the way he cared for them. Yeah. And I like to think of the church as a place of safety and where we're learning to bring out the beauty in everybody. And I guess the racial tensions we've seen this week jar all the more, because the gospel is about actually valuing people with their difference, isn't it? And that could come out in any number of ways. We've got members in our church who are asylum seekers. My guess is that it's a similar thing we're called to value, aren't we, and lift people up. But I was thinking one of the verses in 1 Peter that we were looking at recently, in the context of spiritual warfare, it says resist the devil, but it also says humble yourself. And I just wonder if, humble yourself under God's mighty hand. I wonder if there isn't a place for just gentle, humble repentance and listening. Yeah. It's not necessarily about personal guilt or personal wrong, is it? But we're part of a system. And if we want to prophetically challenge that system and speak up, we need to do it in a gentle, Christ-like way.
Yeah, absolutely.
But understanding what it's about.
Yeah, definitely. I agree. I was just going to say that I think what really threw me during the week and called me to action to pick the phone up was actually seeing an image of George Floyd and his daughter, and they were stood on a street in America, and he had her on his shoulders, like most dads do when they love the children, and he had a baseball cap on that said faith, and really bold striking yellow writing on a black cap. And she sat on her dad's shoulders and held his arms, and she just kept repeating, "My daddy changed the world. My daddy changed the world." And for me, I think that's what really broke my own silence, because what she didn't know is that she was speaking really prophetic words, and I really want to be part of an actual real systemic change, that actually she can look back through all the pain of those words and the joy that she felt in that moment to know that actually her dad did change the world. So I think it's about being really kind to ourselves as well, and just allowing ourselves to go through our humanness, the feelings that we might feel, the fear, but not sitting in it and actually taking action, and standing firm in our faith and fellowshipping through it together, which is what this is all about, Andy. It takes something like this to bring this out, and I would not have done this in the past, and I just feel God is using us all through COVID-19, through everything we're seeing at the moment is pushing us out of our comfort zone. And I think we've got no choice but to kind of do what we know is right. Jesus, imagine what Jesus would have done in this time. We're his ambassadors, and we need to be doing what he would have done. And I don't know what that looks like, but I hope that this is the start of something we can build on.
And you said in your letter that we're called to be salt and light. And that's about words, speaking up, but it's about heart attitude as well, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. And just going back to that letter, my daughter JL, she's 10, and it's been really hard to see her come to terms with the world as it is, because up until now she had no idea that these things go on and it's even a thing. So that's been really difficult, and what I just pray that people will do, because racism isn't a thing that you're born into, it's something you're taught, and it kind of goes on through generation to generation. And I just pray and I hope that we can, as parents and those of us with young children, really speak to them on a sensitive and deep level that they understand. And the beauty is, at the moment, we have control of that because they're at home with us. And for me that's really important, because the school systems are not robust enough to talk about different cultures and different races. And there are some amazing books out there that people, you could read, Andy, if my account, to build on my account of my experiences, you can read up in books too. And it's all about learning, isn't it? It's all about learning and journeying together and, building strength and keeping hope and faith alive.
And talking.
Yeah, it's great. I feel great being able to just run.
And I love the fact that we're brother and sister,
Yeah, it's great.
That's what it's about, isn't it?
Yeah.
Leah, thank you. Thank you so much. And this is a conversation that hopefully we can keep on, and also as a church we can learn to have, not just about this issue, but about lots of issues that touch us very deeply.
Yeah.
And we pray for reconciliation and healing.
Yeah. And justice.
And justice, yes.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.